tell him to text me 911 and I swear I will be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But I had this block, literally a block to my phone call.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're here with Alecia and Eden. How are you guys?
Good.
So good.
Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? It was like a fun drive down here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you guys live where?
In LA.
In LA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you in LA too?
I'm at Laurel Canyon.
Okay. I thought you were like Malibu or
For
something.
those of you that want to find me, I'm kidding.
You're like,
Here's my address. No, not maybe you're putting that into the universe.
And you have Pilates studios?
I had 2 Pilates studios from 2007 until COVID,
Okay.
and everything just went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're really into that whole health and fitness, Pilates. Because Pilates is like a whole thing in itself.
Yes, it was very much a whole thing for me every day, all day for many years until it went away. And then that's sort of when I relapsed.
Yeah. Okay. And we're going to get into that.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. And then what do you do for a living?
I have a farm in
I love that.
Yeah, in Los Olivos. It's an olive tree farm.
Okay.
And we sell olive oil,
Nice.
olive and lavender farms. If anybody wants to,
we
drive
need to
up
go.
there.
We need to go
So
check that
good.
out. Where is that?
You guys
in
go,
LA
we'll
or-
go.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
north of Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to an olive farm in Ojai one time. They did like a tasting, and and it was so good.
Yeah, come to us. We've got complimentary tastings, and it's so
Okay.
fun. And
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
beautiful.
She left the house already, but I said, Alecia, get the olive oil. Bring it for Jenny.
I love
forgot.
olive oil. I'm Italian.
good.
Like I cook, it's always olive oil, everything.
Oh, you're a chef? He gets meals made?
Not really.
Don't lie.
I mean, we don't live together, and I'm sure one day when we do, it'd be a lot different. But I cooked him breakfast.
Did I
one
just open a
time.
door? Sorry. Not sorry.
Down the road.
I love it.
One day at a time, right?
Right,
Yes.
I
That's all
know.
we can
That's
do.
what,
One day at a time for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So you're both in
So
recovery. Okay.
Yeah.
There's
And-
a story, a cute story there too.
Okay. And what's the story behind it? How do you guys know each other?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness! Do you want to start on how we know each
So
other?
my daughter Liv and her son Brandon have
Liv,
been dating.
your daughter's.
Yeah.
You have a daughter named Liv.
You do?
Yay.
Oh, baby girl. So I named my daughter Olivia. And when Olivia was 13 or 12 or 13, she took me to court and changed
For
her
her
name to
name.
Liv.
Aw.
And the
that's
judge was like,
adorable.
Mom, are you okay with this? I'm like, does it look like I have a choice? No, it's great.
That's so
Yeah.
cute. Aw. Okay, back to the story.
She's a
Badass.
strong-minded, badass girl. That's for
Nice.
sure. Yeah.
So Brandon and Liv have been dating for 2 years.
Okay.
And finally, was it like after 6 months or so, we were like, we got to get you guys together. You'll love each other. And at that point, I was still in recovery, or I was sober
Okay.
for 9.5 years. And
I was in and out of recovery.
Okay. And is it mainly alcohol for you guys, or was there drugs involved, or?
alcohol.
For me, alcohol. Yeah.
I would, well, hold on. It was alcohol. It was men. It was food. It was
Yeah.
money. It was anything that could keep me skinny. Fentanyl. It was anything that could fill that sad, deep hole.
Yeah, I was the same way. I took Adderall forever. I was all doctor prescribed on my
Yep.
medications,
Yep.
and I ran with that. But yeah, the Adderall, being able to just be skinny, I took so much of it for so long. So you took the
Fentanyl.
yeah.
Yeah.
That like gets you really spun out, doesn't it? I never took it.
I don't.
But,
Well, so I don't know the difference because I never have done cocaine ever.
Okay.
I would imagine that this
Yeah.
is what it feels like. I mean, it's the same class, right? Just one's legal, one's not.
yeah, exactly. There's
Um,
one active ingredient. I think that's
right.
different. That's
So I don't know. But finally I got to a point where like, oh, I can control this. And my doctor would give me, they make 4 milligram or 8 milligram fentanyl. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Because I only need a little and I can self-diagnose and cut it in half and take a little.
Yeah.
So I would. He'd give me the 8 and I'd just take 4.
it.
Yeah, the things we do.
Yeah, right. And you did that for a long time, or?
Oh my God, since probably even through my first 9.5 years of sobriety. I just was not drinking alcohol. And then after 6 years not working the program that I choose to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So relapse is part of your story.
Yes.
Is relapse part of your story as well?
Definitely.
Yeah. And when
Yeah.
did you first get sober?
Back in COVID, I got ovarian cancer.
I'm so
So
sorry.
so that's part of my story. And so I got sober for 6 months. And I had a little red wine in there, but primarily sober. And then when I started to recover from that, I checked myself into an outpatient program and got sober for about 4 months. And then I went out and just sort of back and forth and in and out of the program. And now I had a recurrence 6 months ago of the cancer. Luckily, I went through chemotherapy again, but I didn't lose my hair this go around.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. That was really hard.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
She was still studying.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Well,
You're
we
so
weren't-
sweet. You're
we
so
weren't friends
sweet. Yeah.
then, but
Then, yeah.
pictures.
But yeah, thank you. And when the recurrence came back, it's kind of like when you hear people say, "Oh, I got thrown in jail and I didn't have a choice. I couldn't use, I didn't have that option."
Yeah.
For me, I knew in my heart it was no fucking option ever again to drink alcohol. It was just, it just was ruining my life, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with my husband. It was just, and my body, I just feel like I'm allergic to it.
Yeah,
It
me
was
too.
like I would get that flush, the Asian flush or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I just, and I was dealing with a lot of stuff at the time right before the cancer. So that's really when the drinking really kicked in, was right before the cancer. So I believe I manifested the cancer like about a year before, when I was, a traumatic incident had happened in my life, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And so I just used alcohol to cope, because you go out in the world and everything is A-okay. You have to be A-okay. You have to go to this dinner party, or you have to do this. And,
Right.
and I wasn't okay. So I was drinking a lot when I would go out. I would drink a lot alone. I was starting to black out. I was, my poor kids, saw me go through that.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
They're now 17 and 19.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so then I manifested, I think, cancer through that. That was my wake-up call. And then the recurrence was, Alecia, get it fucking right.
Yeah.
It's time. And and throughout all that, I met Eden, and we just have a really honest, great relationship. She's really brought me into the recovery world. I'm really grateful, and it really happened all through our kids. And
That's so amazing.
yeah.
Through the kids. Aw.
yeah.
So I've never heard that before, that you feel like you manifested that, something bad essentially into your life. What was that thought process like when you decided to actually get sober?
It was hard because everyone around me drinks,
Yeah.
even to this day.
Your husband and
my husband, a lot of my good friends, and I was known as, definitely having 1 or 2 glasses and could go home. But then I would open up more when I got home. And then I was also known as, drinking a lot and having a good time. But yeah, it was definitely a journey. I mean, I just, I'm still around it, but that's just life. I mean, I think we're always around that beautifully packaged poison, right?
Right. And I was doing a podcast yesterday, and I was talking to the lady about that. And it's so hard with alcohol because it is everywhere. And it's a social thing. And we were talking about how it is poisoning and how crazy it is that we're just brainwashed as a society to go out and have these drinks. And it's like that first sip, we're just putting poison in our body. Yeah. And it's just like everyone has these blinders on, and to each their own, right? People that can socially drink. I wish I could. I can't.
Yeah.
But it is a crazy concept.
And literally, I mean, even if you take it a step further, it's like, what have they done? And we're guilty for it too. Like the sugar we eat,
Oh, yeah.
and it's so much more mainstream, and it's just as bad. It maybe doesn't mess with your mind as much, but it throws you off.
And it's so addicting.
Yeah.
Like I've cut sugar completely out a couple times.
Well done.
And not right now, but I have
comes
in the
back,
past.
yeah.
And it is like full on detox, withdrawal, all the symptoms, just angry, just
Right. We
all
talk
those
about
things.
that. Yeah.
So are you, do you not have any
No,
sugar?
I try to do the best I can, but that my disease will come up and be like, I have this thing with these popcorn things at nighttime, and it's usually the kettle corn flavor.
Oh, those are good.
Those pop bags. Oh God. And it really gets to me. And so my roommate, who's in recovery because my daughter's in Boston, I said, I need popcorn. He's like, do you want me to stop and get some? I'm like, no. Well, yeah, but no. And he's like, what flavor? I'm like, what do you mean what flavor? And then we go through, he gets there. He's like, well, they just have the cinnamon. I'm like, it's that bad.
Yeah.
It's that bad. And he brings it home. And of course, because granted, I'm at an age where my body's all over the place. And so I needed the sugar. And if I wasn't going to have it, someone would maybe have to tie me to the bed and punch me in the face to fall asleep.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I literally have these little chocolates on the floor right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's really bad. Eden, when did you know that you were an alcoholic?
The first time I ever drank, I was 15. My mother's a recovering alcoholic, and my sister overdosed in 2002.
I'm sorry.
Life again, right?
Yeah.
So the minute I drank, and we were all going out, and it was LA and 15 going to clubs, you get in where you get in because we knew everybody.
Born and raised. No.
Born in New York, moved to LA at 6 months old. So,
Okay.
yeah. And it just changed. It was just fun. I was ready to go. But everyone who was with me, who knew my sister and the lifestyle she led, she'd walk in a room, and you're like, oh shit, Kat's here.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you drinking? You're going to be just like your sister, your mom. And I was like, wait, I'm just having fun. I feel good. Get off my back.
Yeah.
But I knew right then there was a problem. I could see it clearly. And I could feel what was changing inside of me and the freedom that I had, that's what I look for now, whether it's a bag of fucking popcorn or, the next, not anymore because I'm celibate, but the next man I'm going to get to fix my problems.
Yeah. And what do you think that is on the inside that's making you crave these external things?
Just this empty sense of I'm not good enough. I'm lonely. I'll never have really, I'm doing the work now. So it's kind of like to touch on that. It's, I can feel it like right here in my heart. It's a sad girl who was young and turned to food for, comfort, who just wanted mommy's and daddy's love, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
There was complete chaos around me. I just wasn't safe. I wasn't safe. So I thought that I could find it in anything, and a tremendous amount of, pain. I'm lost, and I don't know how to find myself through this big family lifestyle.
Yeah.
People everywhere. I just wanted comfort.
Yeah, I felt the same for a very long time. I still do, at times, but from childhood trauma and just trying to always fill that void.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so hard. And as women, we have so much pressure on us to be a certain way. And I was listening to a podcast that you were on, Imperfectly Perfect, right?
He's wonderful.
And you were talking about getting your implants.
Yeah.
And for me, I had the same story. I came out here from Canada at 19 with a suitcase, live the Hollywood dream. And I didn't really think there was anything wrong with me physically until I got out here.
Oh, then.
And then it was, okay, I've had my boobs done 3 times. I've had my nose done. I've had lipo on my inner and outer thighs. The things that we do.
Guilty. I love that you just brought that up, because this morning I was actually, as I'm getting in the shower, I'm like, you know what? I think there's more honesty to recover out loud. I had my tummy tuck after my kids. I had my boobs fixed before I got them out 3 times. I had my nose fixed. I still, I had a facelift. Who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
And because we've meant to fit into the society of beautiful women, and what does that look like to us? And of course, growing up with the parents I did, and it's not their fault.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And the freedom of all that is in the truth, And it's just simple as to sharing that experience. And maybe, if someone wants to do something, great, but just really go deeper and look at why.
Absolutely. Yeah. And sharing and just recovering out loud. It's so amazing because it becomes so relatable to so many people,
Right.
just talking about these things openly. When I was going through my shit, which was for 20 years, I didn't think anybody had it like me. I'm like, nobody's going to understand. I was super secretive. Like I didn't hang out with addicts and alcoholics. I just wasn't secret. My life was like a secret. And I was just like, no one has it like me. You know, no one's gone through what I've gone through. And once I finally asked for help and got the help, I was able to see like, holy shit, there's people out there that I can relate to. I'm not so alone, you know, and these conversations heal.
They really do. I mean, I don't need to speak for you, but
Yeah. Well, my background's similar to yours. I came out here and I was doing a lot of commercials, a lot of modeling. And I got implants at 19. And I had a few redos on the boob job.
Yeah.
And, just always problems, leaking and kind of scary. Like the silicone had migrated into my armpits, believe it or not. Yeah.
That's
So I thought
dangerous.
I thought I had cancer with that. And it turns out it was silicone. But yeah, I had my implants removed a year ago and I feel so good. And I love my boobs.
Yeah. Nice.
I feel like I'm 19 again, right?
That's
It's like-
amazing.
I mean, what we go through as women to really try to, because trust me, the next I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take this stuff out of my lips and have them redo it, like to make them pretty. This, like, why am I still doing this? But I cannot right now. Okay, no, but I'm getting old. I'm 50 years old. My face is sagging. No, I want to get my sculpture. And like, that's obsession of the mind.
Yeah. I still do it too.
Yeah,
I
of
get my
course.
lips done. I get Botox
Yeah,
like every 3
same.
months.
I need
you know
it
what
right now.
mean?
See, look, really bad. No, it's real.
Yeah. And I wonder like, is that ever going to change? Because we do this work on ourselves, this inner work, through the program and therapy and healing. And then we still do this though.
Well, I think we're all pretty healthy as far as working out and, you want to look your best and you want to feel your best, right? So, if there's something a little bit,
But it's interesting. So we say that, right? And we live in Los Angeles and we live in a society that we all are told how to look for the most part and what to do about it. And now we're all sort of morphing into that, right? We just are. I mean, even look at, I hate to say it, and I love even watching it at times, the Kardashians, it's fascinating from what they looked like to what they look like
I know
now.
that's crazy.
What?
Yeah. Unrecognizable.
It's genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What they've created, but it's fucking scary.
Yeah. How do you see it with your kids? Because I know I have a 15-year-old and he like lives on social media, and it's terrifying.
Our kid, so
I mean, they can't get away from it.
well,
right?
Brianna, her son's a musician and he's an artist, and he's not really on it that much. And
No.
my daughter's an artist and sort of
Okay.
runs, kind of by her own. But she does do the TikTok, and I'm like, where'd you find that? Oh, TikTok. I'm like, oh,
But her daughter's
Goodness.
very hippy dippy, very natural. She,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
she hasn't gotten into any of the other stuff. Where my son plays a more part of like, I need that cool thing or that cool. He's kind of has a little more of an edge where Liv can take off her. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, your daughter, Liv, could be like working at, I don't know, any way she can with the last name Sassoon DeVito. But she, she doesn't. She's just very earthy. When they went to the prom, Brandon, they bought him a suit that was $28.
They're thrift shoppers.
Oh my God.
They
love
are
that.
full
Yeah.
thrift shoppers.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It was so cute. And he rocked it.
Aw.
Nestle rocked
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But I do worry about my daughter. She's
Yeah.
17. As far as like, I hope she doesn't get breast implants. I really do, because
If I can help it, she's not.
yeah, and at this age, if she wants to get Botox, fine, but wait till you're closer to 40. You
Yeah.
know, I was the Botox model. Yeah,
Nice.
When I was 40.
How come we don't get a discount on that
I
shit?
know, right?
Yeah, what the heck?
and now I don't get it, but it's funny. Yeah, like I had to sign an affidavit. They just gave me a little here, and that was one of the jobs back in the day.
Well, you look
One of the
amazing.
gigs. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Eden, you have 9 months sober?
I do. I got 9 months
Congratulations.
3 days ago.
And so what
Thank
got you
you.
sober this time?
Oh, so when I went out, I said, when this behavior comes back, I really thought I was different. I thought I was a different woman. I know I was miserable inside, but I wasn't working the program or my steps, or I didn't have a sponsor, and I had very few friends in, no, the guys I was dating, they were all drink. I don't know what was going on. Chaos, obviously. So I thought it was a really great idea that I could go out and drink. Cut to 10 months later, my last weekend of drinking happened to be with Alicia and our children.
And was anybody like checking you at this point? Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this? Is this a problem? Or
I mean, our relationship then was fairly new. And I was.
Why did you see things that you would? Oh, that one night at Pache.
what's this one night?
Oh, that one night at Pache.
Were there other remind me? Oh, it's Santa Barbara where I peed in my pants with that other guy.
Oh, that might be a red flag.
Yeah,
There's God, each story has a different guy.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep with these guys, but still, I would pull them in.
Honestly, I think your addiction back then was really men, for
and I would
sure.
use alcohol. It's
For
one and the
sure.
same, big time. I mean, every day it was a different guy for the most part, and not having nothing to do with, sexuality or this and that. I just pull them in, fill the hole, get them what I needed out of them, and be like, "You're out, done, next."
Yeah.
Awful. To where what got me sober this time was we were in Las Vegas, and I was dating this guy Jeff. Sorry, Jeff, but he knows the truth. And I just didn't like him enough. He was just there, and he's like, "Why? I love you. I this, I that." And we've talked about this, so I'm not talking behind his back.
Yeah.
And he was a sweetheart.
He was. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved him, but me.
Yeah.
And he was just sort of filling this like hole in the beginning, and then I just was like, "Oh, I can't do this.
But you were only together like 2 weeks, right?
No, it was like at least a long time for me is 3 months.
Okay. So
Okay.
you
Okay.
love
Long
hard.
time.
You like
Quick,
love the
fast,
idea of
done.
love, and then you're out.
I got married. I got a kid. I had another kid. Got divorced in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm quick, and so I'm learning it all this time around.
Yeah.
All.
Had you worked a program before?
Nope.
Okay.
I did. When I got to step 4, I'm like, I'm done. But I'll keep going to meetings. I'll do everything on the outside. I won't drink.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the work was in the steps for 9.5 years.
Because I see that on your social media. I just requested you, so I don't know
Yeah.
about everything you do
Yeah,
on there.
yeah.
But I love everything you do on there, just recovering out loud, and you can tell like you
Likewise.
really work a program.
I have a sponsor now who I didn't even really have sponsors. I'd get these women in my life who were all so and so in Hollywood and would know my dad and this and that, and everyone was
Yeah.
somebody knowing somebody else. And I'm like, excuse my language. I obviously am in a state where I just have to swear. I was like, fuck if you're gonna tell me what to do, and I don't want to talk to you every day. I just don't. And so now I'm like, okay, I'm understanding like this is surrender. And I chose Shannon to be in my life because he represents so much to me, and he has what I want as far as recovery and his relationship with God. And if he asks and tells me to call him, then just call him. What is so difficult? Like my mother used to say to me, listen, I'm not going to give my doctor your phone number because you don't answer your phone. I'm like, you're right, I don't. Tell him to text me 911, and I swear I will be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But I had this block, literally a block to my phone call.
But now you're so in it. I mean, she's working so hard.
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
doing my best to like come up against myself,
Yeah.
and break those habits. And it has been, I've lost a lot of people in my life, and even one in recovery this time. And yeah, I'm not going to take away from, losing them, but I'll tell you the work that I'm doing on myself is harder than like some of the grieving you have to grieve.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, if you're okay talking about it.
Of course.
You just lost your brother recently.
Yeah.
And you walked through that in recovery.
Yeah.
And how has that been?
I mean, this is going to sound so weird. It's been amazing because the process of like all of a sudden, literally, like his disease just out of the blue, literally, like death wasn't right there. It was further away. He had another recovery in him, but that phone call came like that night. That fucking phone call.
Yeah.
And when I knew it was who it was who called it, I was like, "Is my brother dead?" And he's like, "Yes." And I was like, I just lost it. I just lost it because it wasn't there. It wasn't right there. But I guess when you're dealing and you know more of this than me, I've never done hardcore drugs, fentanyl and methamphetamine and mixed with alcohol and.
So when you got that phone call, instead of picking up and saying, fuck it, what did you do?
I immediately, first they were saying his girlfriend, who's, I don't know what, initially because I'm angry, I want to call her a junkie. But I do pray for her and I wish the best for her. She called, she's like, Eden, you have to get here. Da, da, da. So my mind went right to get there safe. And then it went to call a friend of mine, Justin, get over here. I can't drive. I can barely move. I need your help. But he was going to take me to my brother's house. And then my mom got on the phone with the police and the police said, you're not going there. You can't see that. And so I sort of started coming to a little bit like, okay, I don't want to go there. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
And then he got to my house and I went to my mom immediately. And so I had a sober friend with me who was the first time that I actually picked up the phone and called someone for help in maybe ever.
Yeah.
Really. And that was like, oh my God, I'm asking you for help. You showed up immediately. I had every emotion possible within, the next few hours that he was with me. Poor guy had to see it and live it and remember it all. And he was there and just stood by my side.
And I think that's so important for people to hear, that asking for help part, because it's so hard to do. But having that sober support around you obviously was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
We need to have those people around us, our support, our community, our tribe,
I'll tell you, if I picked up the phone, I tried to, if he wasn't there that night, I don't know what would have happened. Who knows? I can say I don't think I'd turn to alcohol or call an Uber and got to my mom's house, but it was different to know that I was I don't let love in that easily. I mean, it seems I love hard, but it's really hard for me to be loved and recognize it as that. It's I'm working that muscle very much in my work with steps and my relationship with my sponsor and staying out of the relationships that I used to use for the wrong reasons because I don't know what love looks like. So the fact him showing up that night was one of the first steps that this is what love looks like.
I love that.
It was powerful.
Yeah.
And in losing Dave, he's free. He's free. He was suffering.
He had struggled, obviously, for a long
time. Many years in and out, and being adopted and being Black and in a white family and you name it, it happened. And he used to be like 385 pounds, 425 pounds. And he had the gastric bypass because, if you don't look good, we don't look good. So that played a role in his life and it just went downhill from there. So I think, I found so much, sounds so crazy. I found so much freedom in him being able and acceptance when he did die. Because it was so hard to watch him suffer and not be able to do anything for him. And I know as a recovering addict once before, there was nothing I could do for my sister. There was nothing I could do for him, So it was like, there was that grief I found so much acceptance in. And now I get to talk to him. Do I miss him? Of course. I wish the old Dave before his using started could show up. But he's with me all the time. He's one of my angels. So I do find a lot of peace with that. And now it's just, last week I got the article, another friend found face down in a swimming pool,
It's disgusting, what's going on with the fentanyl epidemic. We talk about it all the time, how many lives are being lost and young people too. I knew a mom that had a 14-year-old son that, hit a vape pen and it had fentanyl and he died. It's like, we're not safe. That
it's
socially
terrifying.
using, people going out to party on the weekend. You can't do that anymore. Have you experienced it in your life as well with anybody around you that's passed?
Not so much. I mean, just like with kids, yes, I hear about, a kid my kid's age that passed away from fentanyl. It's been there's been at least 3 episodes of that, So my kids are seeing it, and
and we make sure we talk about it with them because they'll still pick up I'm going to call it a bong, but that's not what they're doing nowadays, are they? Whatever they're smoking
I
from.
think they've got a bong. I do. But I think also with what happened with her brother, I can see my son became fairly close with him. And so since I haven't had that, in my family or close friends, he hasn't experienced that. He did experience it through your brother's passing.
Yeah.
And I hear him and Liv talk about just how horrible it is. And I know that they, are living their lives and, partying a little bit, but really hoping and praying that they make good decisions because it's one bad decision away. But you're right. Like they could pick up a vape that could have it in there.
Yeah.
You know, any of us could, right? So, but I think also with Eden and I staying sober, you know, being sober moms, it really, as you are too, it really is a great example for them. So they see it. That's the best thing we can do.
And talking about it,
Yeah.
you know, like there's still this like taboo about, oh, how much do you tell your kids and do you not tell your kids? And like, I'm a firm believer to tell them everything.
I'm with you. Too.
You know, like my son tells me everything because I've told him everything, you know, and it's like we need to start educating kids young now, like middle school, elementary school almost. It's this like fear of, oh, well, we can't tell them because if we tell them, they might start doing it. And it's like, they're going to do it anyways. You know what I mean? So we should be educating them.
At some point, it should be, you're right, it should be part of the educational system.
Yeah, because you can't run from it. It's in your face. Everything's in your face now. So you got to face it. You can't, if they're not going to find, you know, something online at home, they're going to find it at a friend's house.
Exactly.
They're going to, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Alecia, what have you learned the most about yourself through this process of getting sober?
I have learned that I'm happier. You know, I've learned to really count my blessings. Like every day I wake up and I look around and I'm just grateful. You know, before I think I was depressed. You know, when I would, the after effects of drinking, I was always depressed. But I have learned that my relationship, first and foremost with my children, is so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk to me and they wouldn't have talked to me before, you know? I mean, they're still teenagers and, you know, whatever. But I feel like, my communication skills are more honest and I don't have time for relationships where I can't be honest. And I feel physically better and I feel like recovery is my purpose now, you know?
I love that you say that because that was my story, you know, getting into recovery. I found my purpose of who I am because I preach it. I'm like, you can get sober, you know, like that's hard. Yes. But if you don't find your calling, your purpose, your passion, you know, what makes you happy, then you're going to be miserable, you know? So understanding and finding that. What do you think your purpose is now in recovery?
Well, our podcast.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of segueing into that.
Yeah. You know what? It's incredible. I mean, selfishly for me, I'm healed every time we have a podcast, as I'm sure when you get deep down, listen to people in recovery stories. I mean, I'm just so grateful that people are willing to share their stories with us, their pain, and just where they are today and how they're helping people and how they've come out the other end. Yeah. And learning their tools of what they do. And I go home and I go, oh, wow, this is what they do when they wake up in the morning. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to add that to my morning routine.
And to show people that aren't in addiction what it's like, you know, because I feel like they need to see that too.
They have different ideas.
Yeah, like there's such a stigma about the drug addict or the alcoholic and what they look like. And to be able to show them, you know, these recovery stories, you know, and that we should never give up on anybody.
And someone who's on the fence, it makes a difference. I remember the day, sorry we go back, but we're talking about it, the night Dave passed. I can't remember who was in the studio with us, but and we all kind of share the same guests, but there was someone and I said, God, or even CJ recently, I said, if my brother could have just heard that hour, the day, who knows, it could have made a difference. Yeah. It could have made a difference. And now that he's gone, maybe that one person will, right? And then it's all worth it.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's all worth it. You know, even if it's just one person, one life that's saved, it's all worth it. So it's called A Taste for Recovery? A taste of recovery. Yeah. How did it come to be? What was that conversation like? I'm interested.
You mean like 4 months?
Yeah.
To find a name?
Just no, but not the name, but just like a podcast. Like, how did you guys decide, hey, we want to do this?
You know,
We were looking at trying to just do a podcast together, just so we could be together and have more of a focus. And this was prior, right? I think I might have even still been in my 10 months out, and you were kind of curious and in and out and in and out. So we were like, okay, let's find, focus together.
And then through our life of rediscovering our sobriety and how seriously we were taking our journey,
It made sense.
It made sense. So we came together. A studio came to us, and I said, "Hey, I have access to this studio. Would you want to?"
Nice.
Yeah, sit in there and have a guest come in, and honestly, I think it's.
You're wanting to say God.
I want to say it.
Say it.
It's from God.
Yeah.
It's from where we are
That's
today.
the best gift in recovery right now. My relationship with God, like realizing that, God, I had a strong will, but I had a strong, lazy, fucked up will that got me absolutely nowhere. And so I can see myself like in it, and the minute I give it all over, the same God's been watching my back for the last 50 years.
What do you think's different now?
Willing, surrender, commitment, discipline. I had a on-side contract, I say this all the time, with God that okay, you'll do the work. I'll pray because I believe in you, and you'll do the work. And it was like, I honestly, okay, well, if you're not going to do the work, you're right. I'll put a good enough team together that it'll get done. I would never do the work.
Yeah.
It was as if I'll just come up with these ideas and I'll pay this person to until recently, until Shannon, until working step 1 literally for 4 months and realizing how unmanageable my life is, that this sounds ridiculous, but he got in my car one day and he moved the cobwebs because I live in the hills. Again, if anyone wants my address, I'm kidding. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been trying to do that for weeks. Thank you for taking the cobwebs. And he looked at me like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, those cobwebs have been there forever. As if ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Clean your car, Eden. No, I was waiting for magically the cobwebs to just disappear.
Right. You got to get into action.
Right. Well, I wasn't taking action forever with anything.
Yeah.
To the point where, I'm very proud of myself. Last week, I've had, people manage my financial situation forever, let's just say, whether it be my parents passing it on to me, just being a college kid and fucking everything up. I never knew how to balance anything, myself or money, to finally, I called my money manager. I said, I'm ready. I know this might be hard for you. It's way harder for me, but I'm finally ready to take over my life, my financial life back for the most part. And people are like, well, what do you mean you don't pay your own bills? Well, what do you mean you pay your own bills? I don't know. It comes in the mail. So that means I have to check my mailbox. That means I have to sit down. I have to open the bills. I have to write a check. What are you talking about? No, it's online. Oh, you mean I can have all this? I mean, things that my brain could not or would not comprehend. Obviously can, because now I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I can
it's-
do this.
It's the simple things in life, right?
That wasn't simple.
Well, I mean, that's annoying, to be honest. Bills and keeping it.
Oh, no, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think sobriety and recovery, I don't know. You find pride in doing things like
In
that.
everything.
Yes,
Right?
in
And in the
everything,
routine.
right?
Yeah.
So
the
what
routine.
does your routine look like now on a daily basis?
I love it. I'm like a weird. Well, no, I love it. I wake up and I give myself an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to get out of the house because I have to talk to God. I have to do my worship music because it puts me. I got to get the spirit over me. I have this Glorify app. I do my gratitude list. I've been changing it to nighttime so I can go back and sort of regroup on my day and see what I was grateful for, not what I'm grateful to look forward to today. So I do a little bit of both. I do my freestyle writing to get whatever it is out. And some mornings I'm like, again?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, text me. Yes, Eden, again. Right. So that's kind of turning it over. And now I look forward to it. And then I'm like, oh, hold on. Heavenly Father, and I have this whole conversation. It's just be open, be real, be free with me. And then I got into why do I, my face is sagging a little, but I want this and I want that. Okay, is that my will or yours? You live in life. I mean, it goes down a whole road of and it probably comes to like, oh, but you just want to be loved and you don't know what that looks like. So back off, take this one day at a time, do the work. It's in your steps. I'm sitting on my third step. So I'm in AA, but I do this work in NA because I feel that recovery is, for me, really digs it all up.
Yeah.
And so these, 70 or 65 questions in step 3, I'm like, open the book. Every night I put it right next to me. And step 1 and 2, and he kept me in there. He's like, you're just going to stay there. And it was so fucking painful that I think I'm not opening step 3. I've done all the reading, but I'm not answering the question because he's going to keep me right there. It's just my disease being like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I want to keep you right here. I want to keep you struggling.
Yeah. But I think it also shows, which is great for people, that, your recovery and, the time it takes for you to do your steps. Did you do the steps as well?
I haven't done all the steps.
Okay.
I've attempted them 3 times.
Okay.
But yeah.
But
I'm
it's
back
different
in.
for everybody.
Yeah.
And how
yeah.
long it takes.
Yeah.
And if it takes months to get through that first step, then so be it.
I'm a firm believer. Like, you sit in those first 3 steps. When I was in AA and a couple of people, do you believe? Do you hand it over? Okay, fine. Let's go to step 4. The fuck just happened? What do you mean? No, I need to realize how unmanageable my life is with alcohol, with food, with men, with money, with either obsessively, compulsively working out too much or nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it right. And so what does that look like? And then who am I believing in to turn this over to? And then how do I take action just for today? I do my little notes just for today. Where's your just for today? Oh my God, I have to tell you what I'm doing today. Yep. What's today? I'm like, okay, great. Now I'm like, just for today. And checked off. What did I not do? Like, really?
Yeah.
Why wasn't I taught this in 3rd grade?
Right. Yeah. I mean, routine and the consistency in that is a game changer. What does your day-to-day routine look like in recovery? Like, give us one day.
Yeah. I wake up, I feed my dogs.
Okay.
Get my coffee, and I wake up earlier than everyone in the house. And then, I sit down and do some readings. I read the St. Francis prayer. I read the 3rd step prayer. Serenity prayer is always there. And
Page 86, Upon Awakening.
yeah, Upon Awakening, page 86. And then, sometimes I do the loving kindness meditation. Do you know the loving kindness? May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from suffering, may you be free. And you do that. It's with myself, with a neutral person, with someone I have a difficult time with, someone I love very much. And it just sort of, it just gives me a sense of, it helps me move more towards forgiveness, something like that. And then I come to maybe one of the principles, surrender in step 3, and I kind of keep that intention for the day. I try to live. I say to myself, do I want to live in the light today, or do I want to live in the dark today? And I want to live in the light. And sometimes living in the light, you're still feeling your shit. You're still feeling your pain. Your daughter's, sorry, Alex, my daughter can be, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, not going to react. This is what sobriety has brought to me. I'm just more like, okay, that's your stuff. It's fine. And not to say that I'm not sad throughout the day or lonely. But I just live a better day. I come back to that light, and I do it all over again the next day.
Yeah. I'm very similar, and it just, I love that we wake up every morning and can choose, to be in gratitude. We can choose to be positive. We can choose to do these things and be present and self-aware and all that, where before it was just
on its own,
it's just horrible,
depressed, sad.
Yeah. And I was so used to just being in that space, and it was comfortable there, that I didn't even know how to get into like a more positive frame of mind, And now it's just every day I wake up and I do similar things, and just in so much gratitude, and I always preach that, because if we can just stay in gratitude, it doesn't matter what's going on in our lives. Right. We have things to be grateful for. We woke up sober, which is just that in itself. And we get to help others.
Right. It's interesting though, because in the early sobriety, and let's just take it one day at a time. So forever, we're programmed to wake up and like instantly, like I'm like, I can choose. I have the choice. I literally say, I have the choice right now. Whatever that is, you're out. I'm choosing to be happy, or I'm going to take action right now, which is going to switch my, original way of thinking, which is nothing but depression for the most part and unhappy thoughts. And, I'm never good enough. To, all right, this is going to be a great day today. I'm going to give it over.
And
We get to talk to Jenny.
As you know, she's such a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
And she helps so many people. You really do. When we go to
We
meet,
all do. And I try to do my best. I really
Yeah.
just love people. I want to love them. And I don't want them to struggle like I've struggled.
Yeah.
Like the pain's fucking unbearable.
It is unbearable.
You
And
know?
it makes it a little better knowing that we can possibly help somebody
Right.
not feel that pain.
And when you hold someone and when you hug, I'm a hugger. I'm a big
too.
hugger. So when we hold them heart to heart and you're breathing with each other, like, oh,
Yeah.
we're in this together. Like we are in this together, ladies.
We
Not that you
really
really
are.
know.
What do you tell women out there right now that are struggling? Like, what would you say to somebody right now?
I say, call me. I say, DM me. I say, let's talk. You're not alone. You are not alone. I will be as vulnerable as I need to be for you to realize that there is no difference between you and me in any way. And I try to make that clear a lot I use social media for that for the most part.
Do you feel that
I'm
because
sorry,
because of your name, that people have a harder time being?
That's why I try to make it more clear, because I think sometimes if they think, oh, she's so-and-so's daughter, and oh, she was on this show, and oh, that's all that's just circumstances that happened. But nothing is different between you and I. So I work a little extra harder to make it clear that I'm available and that I'm no different than anybody.
You do a good job with that.
Thank you.
You do a really good job.
Thank you so much.
What would you say to women out there?
I would say, there's so many things available to us today. We're so lucky. For the lazy people like me, I started listening.
Too,
Yeah, but I started listening to sober podcasts
Like you.
all the time, all the time. Even when I was I'd be fucking like still so
Drunk listening.
and just like listening, laying in bed and going, I can do this. I can do this. I can get sober.
Yeah.
And I relapsed and just kept living the same fucking Groundhog Day all over and over. But I just by putting on your podcast and laying in bed and sleeping, I think it was Janie Lee Grace. Is that who it is? Or is that her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis?
No,
Oh.
no, not Jamie Lee. No, there's a gal, a British gal that she has a podcast, and I used to listen to her podcast every night when I fell asleep and I was still drinking.
Yeah.
And then, then I got online and then checked myself into an outpatient program. That's incredible. And now Eden is, she works at, can I say, Mindset?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because I
yeah.
see it on your page.
Of
Is
course.
that a treatment center?
He does sober living and hi Jenny. Hi. We went live. I had to. Sorry guys. Yay! Alicia and I are so excited to be here. A friend of mine who I actually met through a friend of yours, Garrett. They do sober living and IOP. And I said I was in Boston, I think, over Thanksgiving. And I was like, you know what? I have a little too much time. Then, if I can give more of my time, I'll handle my disease more when it comes to money and food. Right?
Yeah.
And so I called him and I said, hey, I have, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours extra time for you.
I love
and
that.
he's like, when you get home, let's do this. And so I started with 2 days and then I was like, okay, this is a lot and I love it. And they are my people. I actually got 2 sponsees out of the group and I love these girls.
So you do groups.
I do groups. Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of just do mindfulness. I hold it really just as to where I'm at and where we're all at. And, I don't go in there thinking like, hey guys, I'm going to teach you this, this, and this. No, I'm just going to share my experience, strength, and hope. And let's be present. So Alicia comes in every Wednesday too. And she does sound bowls and she holds,
You do that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. When I was 50, when I turned 50, I got certified in yoga. And then that was sort of, an extension of that. I just learned how to play the sound bowls. And, I get so much out of it when we're together and doing the meditation. That's
amazing.
That's real service work for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
That just goes to show you as women, because so many times we're catty to each other, we're judgmental, all these things.
Yeah.
And then if we can be connected like this and just, love and, have conversations and be open and honest, and then find things that you enjoy doing. Like, what would your tips be to people out there that are getting sober and they have no idea
Wait for the rest.
how to
guys.
have sober fun, how to meet other women in recovery? Like, what would you say?
Gosh, I mean, I would say find your posse, right? Find your crew. You can still dance. You know, that was probably my biggest fear, was like this image of like, I'm not going to be fun anymore. Nobody's, you know, sometimes I don't get invited to stuff by some of my friends that are out having some wine, you know, but then sometimes I do. And and it's great because, you know, I can still be fun without drinking, but I have to like balance my life where, like 60-70% of my life now is my sober posse, you know, and I mean, we have a great time.
I have what I say
I have so
is
much more fun. Yeah.
when I first got sober, I was originally so afraid of being intimate with men without alcohol. I was so afraid. I didn't care about the rest of it. That was my thing. When it should have been a huge red flag right then and there, but it wasn't. It was great without alcohol. It was all great. This time, like, I love my life. And that's why I try to live out loud. Cause like, it is fun. It is real. And whatever I'm feeling, wherever I'm at, that's life. Right. So like, hello, we just go to a meeting. We're instantly family. We walk in this room. The four of us are like, oh, hey, we know each other for a lifetime.
Yeah.
We're instantly connected. We meet people every day, all the time. I meet people online who have been sober for years to have conversations. I have new friends. I mean, my life is, and I'm not talking stuff. Like, I'm trying to get rid of everything and selling. And like I said, just taking back my finances, learning how to do my own shit. Like, I don't need any of that. But so big on a connection base, on like real, like I can look you in the eyes. And like I've learned so much from you, and you know what I'm talking about, where like, oh, maybe I have preconceived notions of this or that or this and that, but no, the real me wants to love. And so it's still learning. Get out of your own way, get out of any thoughts that you have. And I go into it with that like set aside prayer.
Yeah.
I know nothing. And yet the possibilities right there are endless, like endless. We could be sitting down in another year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, 5, who knows what it looks like. And our lives, whatever that looks like. So obviously we're all in recovery and we want to help others. And, you know, we always talk about like, oh, we could have a farm, but we could have sound baths and we could do
so
podcasts and
the
heal,
opportunities
right?
are endless, limitless.
Yeah.
You know, I always say it's like a superpower.
Right.
Being in recovery, like we can literally do anything we want. You know, and isn't it amazing that we can just show up as ourselves now and be embraced?
Unbelievable.
Like the weight that comes off. You know, of course, we're going to have our things, but just being able to just be like, blah, this is who I am. This is what I'm feeling inside, and have the other person be like, I love you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best feeling.
I mean, that's what I found in recovery is so much love.
So much love.
And it doesn't matter, like, you know, it's beneficial, your flaws, right? So
exactly.
And you're loved for your flaws. And I love that. We always talk about that Japanese
It's a great
art.
brand name. The Beneficial Flaws.
Beneficial
That's a really
flaws.
good one.
We should think of
Beneficial
that.
flaws.
Let's
But
not tell everyone.
Yeah.
But that Japanese art, kintsugi, where, you know, it's that like
broken.
Yeah, it's a broken vase and it's repaired with gold, and you know, you're more valuable. You're because you've gone through. It's a metaphor of because you've gone through so much in your life. Your brokenness makes you more valuable.
Yes.
Makes you more rich. Makes you more alive. So I feel like in my recovery, you know, it's what I think about all the time. So that's why I love that we're doing the podcast together, because when I was drinking, all I thought about was, oh my God, when is my day going to be over so I can have that next drink? And it was always about the drink. And it was always, and now, and it's all about the recovery, how we can live a better life and what we can do that's sober. And sober, I think, is a hell of a lot more fun. Like
it for sure is.
You know, we can laugh, we can dance, we can, you know,
And we remember it all the next day.
yeah. And we're still crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We still get to have fun. Life is not over. People
No.
think like, oh God, my life is over. No, it's just beginning in such a more beautiful, amazing way than
It's
you
incredible.
could ever imagine.
It's incredible. And I choose, like in my life, like I don't, for the most part, everyone in my life is sober. I'm okay with, let's say I love a lot of people who are still out there drinking, and maybe we'll save you a seat, but I don't need that around me
Me neither.
at all. Don't kill my vibe.
Yep.
You know, take that elsewhere. Been there, done that. And in mad respect, I'm right here when you need to shift or perspective change. I am here. You can come to me. I have no judgment. I personally don't want to be around it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
And I'm around it. But you know what?
No,
It's
and
like,
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
necessarily have a choice.
I have good souls that are around me still, drinking alcohol, and I wish I could drink like them, you know? And then there's a few that, they're going to need to, maybe there'll be a seat beside, I'll save a seat for them.
Well, you never know the seeds that we plant every day with people.
Right.
You just never know. So A Taste of Recovery, how can people watch this? How can they get in contact with you?
Well, when we know, we'll let you know.
Okay. All right.
But for we have like the storage is happening, and we're working on now what are the next steps to really,
But most of our updates are...
Oh, it's on our Instagram. Yeah, it's on Taste of Recovery on Instagram, or you can come through Eden Sassoon and find everybody and anything and everything about recovery.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm more private on my Instagram. I just post family stuff and not anything and stuff about the farm. And
I love that.
Yeah,
definitely going to check out the farm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming out.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
us.
Yeah,
Thank you
recovering
for
out
talking.
loud.
Yeah.
It's so important to have women doing this. I find like there's so many men out there, nothing against you guys, that are doing this sort of thing, and we need more women
That
doing
female
it.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
having that voice.
Yeah, so you'll be our first female when we get to the
I'm so honored. Thank you. All right, you guys.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.